Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. Today I'm going to be looking at the new dual decks, Izzet versus Golgari. So if you've not seen the dual deck product before, in here you get two 60 card decks. The cards are basically from anywhere in the history of Magic, so they're not necessarily standard legal. They often, as is the case here, feature alternative artwork and also the key card of each deck. So here it's Izzet, the Firemind, and Jarek Golgari, Leash Lord, have foil alternative art versions. And also you'll find that there's various cards from the new Return to Ravnica set and other cards which have new artwork. So you get two 60 card decks, two deck boxes, a couple of creature tokens, strategy insert and a learn to play guide. I'm going to be opening that now, but also rather convenient coincidence, a while back when I was looking for sort of interesting theme decks from sort of several years ago, I found that I'd still got a couple of unopened decks. And by coincidence I have the Izzet Geometry, I think that's said, deck from the Guild Pack set, and Golgari Death Creep from the Ravnica. So in a later video I'm going to unbox those, and that way you can just see the differences between the decks. So those would have been from the original Ravnica block. So of course with Return to Ravnica coming up, this is in effect why this product's appeared. Okay, so there's our Izzet deck box, so you can see the artwork on that, and then the Golgari. And there you have the sort of logos that go with those. I'm just going to take a quick look at the strategy guide, or whatever you call this. Let's see what we've got here. So down here we have the list of the contents. So the good thing about this is also it gives you the printings, or one of the printings if there's a lot of different printings of this card. So you can sort of then go back and look up and see where these came from. So we've got how to play the Izzet deck, and then on the flip side how to play the Golgari deck, and the same thing, basically a deck list with notable printings down here. So it looks like the Izzet deck, let's just have a quick look. So looking to do damage here, and the fact that the creatures get larger when you play an instance or sorcery. I've got some goblins in here. Or the other strategy you can do with this. So first strategy is just to basically do plenty of damage on on each turn. Another strategy with the deck is to take a more control route, because this is like a red-blue deck. So you've obviously got burn in here, and you've got control. So the second route is to use control, and then win with larger spells later. And this has got the replicate mechanic in it, which was a feature of that particular set that this Izzet. I think if I look at the previous Izzet deck, it does actually say here that Yeah, it's got the replicate mechanic. So by contrast, the Golgari deck is a graveyard based strategy, and you know, this earlier deck I've got again, this is also graveyard based. So it'd be interesting when I open those to see what's in them. Anyway, getting back to the actual dual deck. So what we've got here is dredge in effect. So that's your strategy with the Golgari deck. So let's actually look at the two decks now. Okay, let's do the Golgari deck first. So this is a black-green deck. Sure that's in focus for you. So this is foil. This is Jared Golgari Leash Lord, 2/2 for 2 black, 2 green. Jared Golgari Leash Lord gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. 1 black and green activates the ability sacrifice. It's a bit difficult to say, another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest. Return Jared from your graveyard to your hand. So there's its abilities. It's a legendary creature. So let's have a look at the rest of the deck. So we have Played Rusalka, creature. So with these decks, I think we mainly go through the creatures first. In green we have Elves of Deep Shadow, which is a common, 2 of those. We've also got Golgari Thug, which is an uncommon in black. Ravenous Rats, common. Reassembling Skeleton, that's an uncommon. Boneyard Worm, uncommon. Korzoda, I think that is. Korzoda, I can't even say it. Korzoda, Guild Mage. Multicoloured, black and green, uncommon. Putrid Leech is in this. Stinkweed Imp, another common. Eternal Witness, uncommon in green. Some more multicolours here. Black, green, Dredge Mangler. Shambling Shell, also in black, green. Brain Weevil in black. Greater Moss Dog, green card. Golgari Grave Troll. So this is a rare. 4 and a green for a 0/0. Golgari Grave Troll enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature card in your graveyard. For 1 colourless, remove a +1/+1 counter from Golgari Grave Troll and you regenerate Golgari Grave Troll. Dredge 6. Stinger Fling Spider. Sadistic Hypnotist. Golgari Rotworm. There's 2 of those in the deck. Gleam Crawler, so it's got hybrid mana, so you can play each one of these symbols here means that you can either use black or green. And this is a rare, it's Insect Horror for 6/6. 3 black green, black green, black green for 6/6. Trample. At the beginning of your end step, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Doomgape, creature elemental, another rare. 4 black green, black green, black green. Trample, it's a 10/10. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Now moving on to the non-creatures, we got Golgari Signet. Instant here, Ghoul's Feast. Yoke of the Damned, enchantment. Life from the Loam, so this is a rare, 1 and a green. Return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand, dredge 3. So here it's got the actual description of the dredge mechanic. If you would draw a card instead, you may put exactly 3 cards from the top of your library into your graveyard. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand, otherwise draw a card. Golgari Germination is an enchantment. Putrefy, instant, 2 putrefies in the deck. So this is removal, it destroys a target artifact or creature and it can't be regenerated, and that's for 1 black, green. Feast or Famine, Nightmare Void, Vigor Mortis, so there's a couple of sorceries there. Another sorcery, Grim Flowering. Twilight's Call is another rare, 4 and 2 black, sorcery. You may cast Twilight's Call anytime. You could cast an instant if you play 2 colourless more to cast it. Each player returns all creature cards from his or her graveyard to the battlefield. And we have Life and Death here. One of these sort of dual cards. Barren Moor, so we're moving on to our land now. Firstly our non-basic. So we have a Barren Moor. Enter the battlefield tapped. You can tap it, add black to your mana pool, or you can use it to cycle. So you can cycle for black. So play black and then discard this card and draw a card. So definitely going to help with the graveyard based strategy. Dakmor Salvage is a land, uncommon. So enter the battlefield tapped. You tap it, add black to your mana pool. It's got dredge 2 on it. Golgari Rot Farm. Enter the battlefield tapped. When Golgari Rot Farm enters the battlefield, return a land you control to your owner's hand, and it taps for black and green simultaneously. And there's 2 of those. Sphegthos the Restless Tomb. Add 1 colourless to your mana pool. 3 black, red. Until the end of turn, Sphegthos the Restless Tomb becomes a black and green plant zombie creature with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. It's still a land. Tranquil Thicket. So it's another land with cycling on it, basically. This generates green mana, but it can also be cycled for a cost of 1 green. And then we move actually onto the mana base. So here's our black first. So 10 swamps. 8 forests and a sapling token. Now I don't know, and I'll have to check when I look at some of the other cards from maybe Ravnica. I don't know whether this is the original artwork from Ravnica or whether it's the new artwork from the upcoming Return to Ravnica. But just so you can see there, that's the sort of artwork that is featured in this deck on the lands. In case you didn't catch that as I just went through those. I'm a big fan of land artwork, as anybody watches the videos knows. And it's really nice, I think, if whenever you build a deck you can use land that sort of complements the deck as well. Okay, so we'll move on to the other deck, which is the Izzet deck. So there's our nice shiny foil, Niv Mizzet the Fire Mind, 2 blue, red, legendary creature, dragon wizard. That's a mythic. Has flying, it's 4/4. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet the Fire Mind deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So let's open our deck. That goes with this. We've got another sapling token. Obviously one of the cards must, in these 2 decks, must generate sapling tokens. Kiln Fiend is first up, and there's two of those. Goblin Electromancer. Izzet Guildmage. Electrode. Wee Dragonauts. Two of those. Steam Core Weird. Shrewd Hatchling. There's quite a few hybrid mana cards in this particular deck. There's two of those Shrewd Hatchlings. Ogre Savant. Galvanoth. That's a rare. 1 and 2 red. Creature beast for with 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Izzet Cronart. Gin Illuminatus. That's another rare. 5 blue red. Flying. Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has replicate. So here's the replicate mechanic. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. When you cast it, copy it for each time you paid its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies. We've got Brainstorm in here with new artwork. So this is a pretty popular blue card. It's been around for a long time in Magic. It's only a common but a very good card. Brainstorm, 1 blue. Draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Force Spike, so that's the counter spell. Magma Spray. Isochron Scepter, which is an artifact. You can see this deck's going to contain a lot more than the other deck. A lot more non-creatures in it. Izzet Signet Artifact. Tap it for 1 colourless, add blue-red to your mana pool. Call to Heal, another instant. Train of Thought, another one with Replicate on it. Pyromatics, there's 2 of those in the deck. More Replicate there. Izzet Charm. It's interesting, there's a reminiscence which says target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. So obviously this is going to be good against the graveyard based mechanic for the going up against the Golgari deck. Thunderheads, another card with Replicate on it. Vacuum Melt. Dissipate. Quicksilver Dagger, another enchantment. Prophetic Bolt, so this is a rare, 3 blue red. Prophetic Bolt deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Overwhelming Intellect. Sphinx Bone Wand. That's another rare. 7 colourless to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may put a charge counter on Sphinx Bone Wand. If you do, Sphinx Bone Wand deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target creature or player. Street Spasm. Invoke the Firemind, another rare. X colourless, 2 blue and a red. Choose 1. Draw X cards or invoke the Firemind, deals X damage to target creature or player. Got Fire and Ice, another dual card here. Forgotten Cave, so we're now moving on to a non-basic land. Enter the battlefield tapped, add red to your mana pool, and it's got cycling on it for 1 red. Izzet Boiler Works, enter the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand, and it taps for blue and red mana. There's 2 of those. Lonely Sandbar, this is a blue mana generation with cycling on it. and then we've got Nivik's Area of the Fire Mind, so we can tap it to add 1 colourless to our mana pool, or we can pay 2 colourless, blue-red, tap it, exile the top card of your library until your next turn. You may cast that card if it's an instant or sorcery. Then we move on to our basic lands here, so we got our islands first up. So 10 islands, and then the mountains. So 9 mountains there, and just again, I'm going to have to find out, where this artwork's coming from, whether it's from the original Ravnica block or whether it's new for this return to Ravnica. So there's our 2 decks in our Izzet versus Golgari Duel Decks. And as I said, what I'll do, I'm going to do another video that looks at the original Golgari and Izzet theme decks from the original Ravnica block. Okay, thanks for watching.